Okay.
Hey, we're going to tear apart a Gravery crank today. We got your timing shaft, your pinion bushing, your pinion shaft, your crank, 2 flywheels, the spreader bolt, and your rod. So here's the tools I have to go. I got an air gun, I got a piece of wood, you'll see why, and I got a regular wedge that came out of you split wood. Got a 1/4 inch, I got a 3/4 inch socket, 6-inch ratchet extension, another 6-inch extension, an 1 1/8 socket, and a 5/16 socket. And I got 2 hammers here. All this is what you're going to need to take apart your crank. And I always labeled my 2 flywheels. So I always put everything back. So I got a B for the bronze. And I put an F for the front, for the timing shaft. That way when I put them back together, I like to put everything back together the same. So here's what I do. This is your spreader bolt. 3/4 inch socket. And you can't hold that with a screwdriver. So here's what I do. I put it in the press. This is what I use one of the 3-inch extensions for. Because you can't hold that with a screwdriver. I just put a little bit of pressure on that. There, that's all it takes. This is really a 19 millimeter, but the same thing as a 3/4. There. I just reach up here, take that nut loose on your spreader bolt. There it goes. This is how I take my spreader bolt out. It's about the easiest way, the only way I know. There, 1 spreader bolt nut. That's why I got that 3-inch socket ratchet there, extension. And your spreader bolt just comes out. Don't discharge of your spreader bolt. We're going to reuse it. There. This is what the piece of wood is for. I don't want to beat my flywheels up more than I have to. There's that wedge. I tap it that way, and I turn it around, and I give it a tap here. What we're doing, we're splitting flywheels apart. That's a part of that spreader bolt. But you don't want to hit it over here. You want to keep it close to that crank pin, the rod, as possible to keep it from spreading funny. There we go. Nope. A little bit more. Well, look at there. That bearing is completely busted in there. Look at that. That's why you got to check your bearings. Okay, this is your spreader, this is your crank pin, and I don't hit on it. I put it back in the press. I don't beat on nothing here. Everything's pressed out. I don't want to hurt anything in the future. There we go. So there's the crank pin. Now look at them bearings that were busted on that. Look at that. And here is the 1 1/8 socket. This is the only time we're going to use the air wrench on these cranks. We're never going to use them for anything else but this. You don't use it for tightening it or nothing. It's just for just breaking that loose. There you go. Let me give that a little tap with the hammer, nice and flat. This one had a lock washer. Some do, some don't. I always try to put it back together so I don't booger up the threads. There's a timing shaft. Let's take this pinion bushing loose. I took this 1 1/8 socket. I had to grind it flat because the way these sit down in there, and we don't grab it all the time if it's not ground off. Same story, just give it a light tap. That's how you take a Gregory L crank apart. Very basic, very easy. Now you're going to need a press for it and them tools. And that's everything here. That's how simple it is to take a Gregory L crank apart.